Hello, everyone. What is the actual pricing of XRP? If you're not paying attention right now, I'm afraid you're going to miss the largest XRP move of the decade. And we're going to start right here. It was just leaked, and it's nothing like the charts are telling us. Dog pools are just exposing levels that could turn this entire market upside down. This is where things start to get crazy, so let's get right to the figures. XRP doesn't just crawl up, oh no, it teleports, when the macro switches back to full risk on and the headwinds finally break. We received this post from a person in Cyprus who claims to be able to flag the dog pools since he is using institutional software. He did, however, provide us with some price targets that we ought to be aware of. Why then is everyone so alarmed that this is going back to $1? Look, he says, $3.82, $4.44, $5.17. These institutions have placed their sell orders there. They are speculating about these figures, and they hope that the great money is secretly getting ready for these levels. Here's the portion for the actual accumulators. These algorithms, to quote Cyprus, haven't missed yet. He claims that the current targets, which are where these dump pools are located, range from 2.21, which we exceeded, to 2.06 at this moment. On the way down, you then received a $1.90 and a $1.56. They essentially match the goals I've been sharing with you for a while. They should bookmark this to save $1.90, $1.70, and $50. Put them as tattoos on your trading perspective. The whales are using these areas for stalking, and you should follow suit. I'm not claiming that these are the highest levels now that you are aware of the actual level, am I correct? He's not putting that out there. He is informing you of the institutional interest in both the upcoming upswing and downswing. Therefore, don't get all worked up over it only going to 5. That's simply a key level of interest, people, and that's where you should be listening. Second, which brings us to our next point, schedule a one-on-one call with me if you don't want to get shook out too soon. And if you want to know why these moves occur before they do. People, they've been booked for weeks. I'll take you through the markets, the psychology, the catalyst, and everything else that the typical retail trader is unable to access. Additionally, I'll walk you through your LLC, your cryptocurrency tax structure, and how it should look, and I'll demonstrate to you how astute investors can lawfully reduce their tax liability. Avoid trading without a framework. People lose 50% of their gains in this way. Don't forget to subscribe to that free newsletter. I post anything I can't say on YouTube there. If you know me, you are aware that I have a lot to say, but I am unable to do it for free. Go get it. I can assure you that this will be one of the most bullish videos you have seen in a long time, so let's keep the momentum rolling and make headlines again. Here is a check at lunchtime. Chad approached us and discussed Xrp'S and Canary. Folks, this thing is cooking. This is the only one that hasn't been operational for a week, and it is cooking for the first 5 full days. All right, I should say. Pay attention to the share volume of 712,029 not dollars. At this rate, more than 15.6 million people are being treated. They anticipate adding an additional 5 million XRP to the system. 5 million. Every day, that's a million. That will be included. Indicates they're purchasing it. You are therefore over the counter. They are currently either 5 million less than they were a week ago or a million less than they were. Correct. This is the appearance of institutional positioning in its early stages. It's silent. It is forceful and totally unnoticed. Speaking of institutions discreetly positioning themselves, ETF Week is set to blow up the market. Our current base case is that Grayscale's ETF will launch Monday through the 24th, concurrently with the Grayscale Dogecoin ETF. Here's the worst part, though. It appears that on the same day, another XRP ETF that nobody is discussing is going live. FTIUS is the name of it. Whoa, is that Franklin? It's Franklin. Would you take a look at that? 1 week, 3 catalysts, and a Frankie boy. Your stealth runs start just like this. Now, all of the figures we just discussed and I told you about came from one of the tiniest niches in Canary Capital. I suppose we might refer to them as asset managers. Bitwise will go online on the 20th. That's the 2nd. On Monday, you received 2 more. There will be 4 ETFs in all. and these institutions begin to grow in size as they go online. Correct? Compared to Canary, Bitwise is bigger. Bitwise is smaller than Grayscale, and Frankie T is bigger than them all. And you had better fasten your seatbelt, man, if you think that's large. I am referring to the area between the waist buckle and the shoulder. The freaking bomb was just dropped by Washington. Allow me to explain this to you. The CEO of Coinbase, worth $68 billion, gave us an update on CNBC. We're waiting on the crypto market bill. You know, the one that will allow these institutions to enter the market and provide us with regulations. I mean, it's 90% finished. Crypto market structure laws has advanced quite a bit. We're probably 90% of the way there. According to what we've been told, the Senate Banking Committee will mark up their next draft in December. Based on the talks I held today, it appears that we made good progress. I enjoy a nice meeting and good development. A nice meeting doesn't particularly appeal to me. Meetings are something I detest. In order for Brian Armstrong to occupy them. This indicates that regulatory clarification is on the horizon. Your green light is almost here thanks to regulatory clarification. We learned as children that green signifies go. I take it that red indicates stop. Hold your parents' hands as you cross the street. Everyone is aware of how this operates. This implies that the money that has been sitting on the sidelines is now allowed to move. In relation to money transfers, what about the institutional need for XRP? It's becoming so damned clear out there, man. This is the XRP ETF from Canary that we just discussed. RPC is attracting a lot of demand. Everyone seems to have forgotten about it, don't they? We are discussing 276.79 million. 276 million people, total net inflows, and an additional $8.32 million were added today, November 18th. Institutions are not concerned with charts or the events of the last 24 hours, nor are they chasing noise. Do you know what organizations do? They seek out clarity. As if they've anticipated what's going to happen before retail does, they're currently piling on XRP. And based on the last footage we showed you, it appears that entire nations do as well. However, this will truly set us up for where we're headed and what's to come. This is CZ Binance's big declaration about how no nation is currently building up its cryptocurrency reserves. Later on, he claims they will be at a serious disadvantage. According to CZ, there will be a global competition to acquire Bitcoin amongst governments rather than between funds or dealers. What happens next is obvious when nation-states begin stacking. Pay attention. The world's biggest economy is currently embracing and purchasing cryptocurrency. They are establishing cryptocurrency reserves. Because the wealthiest nation will purchase Bitcoin first, any other nation that does not do so now will be at a major disadvantage when they wish to do so in the future. The price of Bitcoin will rise when they purchase a large quantity of them. The price at which the next nation purchases them will be higher, limiting their purchasing power and financial resources. I now believe that nations will rush to adopt Bitcoin and other big cryptocurrencies, which will benefit the entire cryptocurrency market. However, it makes sense that many smaller retail businesses will fall further behind. Look, you already know what happens when nations begin to hoard cryptocurrency. And we're going to get right into this from there. Let's use Grayscale to run the numbers. Recall that Grayscale and Frankie T go live on Monday, the 24th. Given the present pricing, Grayscale's uplisting of its private trust and a marginally better Solana-style performance. This is how these XRP influx would actually seem. The goal is to reach $150 million in XRP in a single month. I take it that this is exclusive to Grayscale. More than 853 million XRP is involved. That's crazy. 853 million in a single year. We're looking at 71 million XRP in a month. We're looking at 17 million XRP in a week and roughly 3.5 million in a day. It was estimated to have 45 million XRP on launch day. It's a bit less than what Canary accomplished on the first day, which totals more than 21 million XRP, but it's still rather intriguing. So consider this, and let's examine a 30-day forecast for this, shall we? Canary, which would be live, is yours. Franklin Templeton will perform live. Both Grayscale and Bitwise will be available to you. The 1 month